Hey everybody, this is So Many Sequels, your book club for movies. I'm Josh.
I'm Garrett.
And I'm David.
Ho ho ho! Welcome to the show.
Yes.
It is
Oh, I liked that.
it's
Yeah.
So Many Santas, week 3 on the show. How Christmassy are we getting now? Are we feeling? Is it getting even more ramped up?
Oh,
You
we're
guys
in the
feeling?
spirit over here.
Are you there? Are you spirited up?
When you know you're in the Christmas spirit when you start singing Christmas carols in your car when there's no music playing. Like you just start singing it to
They're
yourself
just
for no
stuck in your
reason.
head.
I'm just banging along to my own version of the most wonderful time of the year.
Okay,
Mm.
your own.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, we've
idea.
had a few Christmas playlists going on in the background these days and just kind of
Yeah.
putting it on shuffle. Sometimes it's instrumental, sometimes it's old school, sometimes it's poppy. You know, it really just kind of depends on how we're feeling. But yeah, we're getting there. Watched A Nightmare Before Christmas. I don't want to talk about it because, you know, we might save it for another time. But,
You never know.
you know, starting to get, again, more Christmas movie watching in. So, yeah, definitely. I watched a bunch of Bob's Burgers Christmas specials because why not? So I'm definitely there.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that. Yeah. You guys doing any? If you see any Christmas lights, anything like that yet? You see Santa yet?
Santa at Philbrook
Yeah.
at the Philbrook Lights with them. He was there taking
went to-
orders from
was
the
he at
kids. You
festival?
know, he was at festival. Yes, he was there. Yeah. So seen me some Santa. I bought some candy canes from my house. That I have a long walkway, right, and I have some candy canes. I bought them at the Dollar Tree. So take that first. But they're supposed to be solar, and they don't work. Not a
Solar
single
candy
one of them.
canes.
Not a
What do
single
you
one
mean?
of them.
They don't.
So
they don't
these
light
are
up?
not edible.
No, these are solar light up candy canes that go along the. I bought we got like 12 because they are cheap and we have a very long driveway. They're
Yeah.
lining them from the front to the end, and they are all supposed to be solar lit, and not a damn one of them has worked.
Now, have you
Well-
have you flicked the on switch?
I turned them all on, and then I was like, maybe they're cheap. I'll flip them off just in case. Maybe they got them backwards, and they don't work either way.
Sun's not been out a lot lately. Do you think that's it? Been a little cloudy. I don't know.
I
Been
think
rainy,
they're
yeah.
cheap. I think they were $1.25, and that was the problem.
Oh,
But
I
do they
know
look
that.
good
These
during the
Dollar
day?
Tree lights.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do they
then they
look
just
good
need to
during
look
the
good
day?
at
They work?
day. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're fine. They're cute.
as long as
And
they
then
look
they're
like candy
great.
canes.
You know, they can be good, intruder deterrent because, someone tries to just run up on your house. Candy cane
Yeah.
to the knee.
They gotta go. Exactly. Dangerous.
No, I took my son Christmas shopping for his mom. I usually like to take him to buy. Normally, what we do, I'll spoil the tradition a little bit here. I have him buy her some like candy, like some Christmas candy and stuff. We just go down candy aisles and then he picks out what he thinks she would like. And it's usually gone pretty well most years. Well, this year he can talk a lot better. So we go and we do that. My wife gets home last night. He goes, Mom, we buy your Christmas presents. And she goes, oh, I heard. Thank you so much. And she goes, you're going to like, he goes, you're going to like it. And she goes, oh, I'm so happy. Thank you so much. And he goes, it's strawberry Hershey Kisses. Like he just like tells her. And I was like, oh, I said, you got to keep it a secret. Now he also got her something else. I said, don't tell her about the other
Too
present.
exciting.
Keep it secret. He told her about it later.
Of course. You can't be saying that. Kids will always.
Yeah.
I said the person who doesn't have kids, but they always be getting the secrets out. You got to be like, you can tell her, whatever. And then he'll be like,
when he was 2 and 1, I could get away with that being an easy secret, but not anymore. Secret spoiler.
Excited.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one.
Yeah,
it's almost like you got to get him a present from him to her, but that he didn't actually pick, so that he doesn't know what it is, or like ask him and then make sure he, I don't know, do it like a week later when he'll have forgotten.
Yeah, exactly.
Then
Or do it the day before.
Yeah, something like that.
It was packed though where we went. It was just packed out with people.
Oh yeah, the stores are a bustling as the holiday shopping.
Yeah, Black Friday may not be what it used to be, but people are still out and about.
No, they just keep making days. What was the one I'm trying to? Yes, you hear about Green Monday?
No.
Yeah. Apparently, it's not even new, but I kept seeing these Green Monday ads, and I was like, what? It's supposed to be similar to Cyber Monday, I guess. but
no.
because it's e-commerce,
feel
so
like
it's green, I guess. I don't know.
I feel like they have taken a simple
Too
idea
far.
and made it so complicated that I can't even understand it.
No,
Like,
because I'm not convinced
only
any of it's a
certain things
deal.
go on sale. Are only certain things on sale at certain times? I have to pay attention every week because I'm not gonna. And no, you make me roadmap to this. No, it sucks the fun out of it and it makes it hard. And I just no. Whatever they've done, I don't like it.
It's
I don't like it.
worse. Whatever they've done, it's worse.
Back in my day,
we punched each other for toys.
We could just trample
We
each
did.
other. It was simple.
Well,
Times
see,
were
that's-
tough
so-
and life was simple.
That was part of what triggered a movie night I had over the weekend. My niece and nephew got to see Jingle All the Way for the first time, which we've covered on this show. Go check out
nice.
SoManySequels.com for a review of that and So Many Sequels or So Many Santas past episode. But we were talking about Black Friday stuff a little bit ago, and my nephew couldn't really wrap his head around the idea of what we were explaining to him. Of it used to be like a really crazy, like going to the store was a big deal on that day. You had to prepare, you had to be there early, and it was going to be crazy. And so we showed him some videos, and I was like, Jingle All the Way it's like all about that. It's not Black Friday specifically, but all he does is fight people for a toy. And so we watched it, and it was kind of fun to see a couple kids 10 and under 10 see Jingle All the Way, which is a movie that is like, I don't even know if you could make it today. Toys don't sell out like they did in that way, They just make enough now, it feels like.
Yeah.
But
we have
they
online
thought it
shopping
was
that you can
funny.
do,
They thought it was hilarious. So Jingle All the Way still makes the kids laugh at Christmas time.
Excellent.
You guys watch any other Christmas movies unrelated to the show this week?
Yeah, I watched the Santa Claus.
Did you? We've covered
I
that as
did.
well.
Yeah, you guys did the Santa Claus. It was one of the first So Many Santas films. It's one of my favorite Christmas movies. Actually, it might be my favorite Christmas movie. I don't know why, just is. And I loved it just as much as I always do. I do regret there's a sequence that there's a line that they've cut out of the version on Disney Plus. I wish I still had my old VHS somewhere, but a long time ago in the early part of the movie where Scott comes back from work and he's talking with his wife when she's dropping off Charlie. She goes, "Here's the number for Neil's parents," and he reads it and he goes, 1-800-SPANK-ME. I know that, and they've cut that from the Disney Plus version, and I get it, but you guys don't remember that?
Memory of that either. No.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's a very Tim Allen line. So anyway, I love that movie. It's a 5 stars. I also sort of, as a knock-on effect of this, for no reason, and partially to punish my son, who I was mad at, watched every Home Improvement Christmas episode, which were so good and so funny.
How many of those are there?
8.
How many?
They did one each.
Oh.
They did one each season.
They did one each season.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And then there's
that used to be a commonplace.
Yeah, and they used to, and sometimes with shows like that, the episodes, like the 2 or 3 episodes building towards a Christmas episode, you would see like snow in the background, and it would all be kind of seasonal. You would see the decorations starting to go up, and then you would have an episode that's specifically Christmassy or Thanksgiving-y. If I can get that sentence out. But yeah, I had so fun. I had not realized how there's a recurring theme of every Home Improvement Christmas episode, and that's the Christmas lights competition that Tim enters in his neighborhood. And I remember that being a thing, but it's kind of funny to watch them in sequence like that, all of them back to back, because you can see sort of the growth of him one-upping himself every year with his Christmas lights display. So, yeah, and it's also interesting to just watch the kids grow up, when you watch an episode from each season, sort of without the middle. So anyway, that was dumb fun as well. But you, Gary, I think you told us you watched some Bob's Burgers, didn't you?
Yeah, I watched a bunch of the Bob's Burgers episodes, the Thanksgiving and the Christmas ones. Listen, every episode of Bob Burgers is a home, every single time. But it is. They make it easy on, I think it's Hulu, to be able to go and watch all of those episodes. And I highly recommend it. It's just like a holiday episode after a holiday episode, and every single one is great. The one that I watched that has always stood out to me as far as like their holiday episodes is the one where the turkey ends up in the toilet every
Mhm.
single time. Man, that one is so funny.
That is a really good one.
And then the snowball versus the sledding, where
Yes.
they're
Yes.
duking it out over who can sled or who can snowball, and that one's always great.
I like that one
I
too.
also ended up,
Yeah, what else?
I've been padding my 2024 stats because
It's
we
also
are
that
getting
time.
close. Yeah, we're getting close to the end of the year, which means our end of the year wrap up is coming up, and we're going to be doing our movie reviews, and so I'm trying to get to where I usually am, and I'm playing some catch up. So I got a couple of 2024 movies in. The first one I want to talk about is the 4:30 movie. Y'all heard of this?
Heard of it.
So this is a Kevin Smith movie in the View Askew universe, if you will, I believe is what it is. And you know what? I enjoyed it. I think that I have obviously a soft spot for Kevin Smith. I have always really enjoyed him and his movies, even though I understand if you're not a fan. I get it. This one was kind of a coming-of-age story. It was of him, it seems. It's kind of the Kevin Smith origin story. And so it is about, kids going to movies in the 80s. Probably, I think it was the 80s. And there's a lot of references that are just kind of really on the nose, that are very Kevin Smithy, if you will.
Right.
If you're familiar with his style, it will definitely stand out. He kind of makes fun of the present and the past through his commentary. It's silly but noticeable. And it was funny. It was cute. It was really silly. I think I gave it a 2.5. It wasn't the best thing I've ever seen. But it was cute. It was fun. Nerds like us, we can attach to it because it's a bunch of nerds going to the movie theater, That is an enjoyable piece of it. So Kevin Smith is good at telling that kind of story anyway. So it really works.
He is.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'm gonna have to look into that. I'll watch the trailer again to remind myself about it. I like the idea of a movie about movies.
Yes, it is, and that's pretty much what it is. So it's
his
like a first
fable.
date centered around a movie. It's very fun, very
Yeah.
dorky.
Okay.
The one that was less dorky and more intense was Blink Twice. Yeah. Did you? I feel like Josh, you saw this.
I did see that. Yeah.
David, have you seen it?
I've not, but this is the one with directed by Zoe Kravitz, right?
Yeah.
Channing Tatum.
Yes, Zoe Kravitz, Channing Tatum. I don't have the cast list pulled up in front of me, so I'm not going to pretend to be able to list the rest. I know Haley Joel Osment shows up in there. There's some other people that are recognizable. I just can't name them right off the top of my head. Man, it was good. It was really good. I liked if this is, I'm 80% sure this is Zoe Kravitz's directorial debut.
I think so.
And it was really, really good. The pacing was good. The story was good. The unraveling and the way that it was told was confusing in a good way because it closed well. And she was really able to tie everything up while also continually keeping me kind of guessing of what's going on. And I had, before I had always wanted to see it, but I had a friend of my fiance's post about it. She had gone to see it, and she said it was Get Out for women. And after having seen it, I don't disagree. That is a pretty good assessment. It is, yeah, I would say that it is it's got Get Out vibes. It's got some Knives Out vibes as far as what's going on, who done it type thing. So it is a really good watch, and I really recommend that.
Yeah, I think when the trailers first started coming out, I saw people saying it's that from a style perspective, it kind of looks like a mix of Glass Onion and Get Out. And then obviously though, there's always more story to it than just that. But that's cool to hear. You've convinced me. I kind of want to see it now because I really did like the promotion that I saw for it earlier this year. But I think you guys have both seen it. You guys both seem to like it. I need to pad my numbers.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too. Yeah, it was pretty good. I got to catch the Interstellar re-release in IMAX over the past week.
Jealous I want to do it.
Boy, let me tell you, you should be jealous because it was great. Just a great 5-star experience that I really, to me, I just am not interested in arguing with internet people. I think it's a masterpiece. I think it's Nolan's
Mhm.
masterpiece. It's just so powerful. And I felt I see it in a new light each time. I wept like 3 times. And when I say wept, I mean like not like
Mm.
tears forming. There's like 3 distinct moments between the various father-daughter moments, the, you know, save the human race moments. What a movie. What
Mhm.
an experience on the big screen. I love Interstellar.
For sure. I only recently got to see Interstellar for the first time. I think it was a little bit somewhere in the middle of last year, and having and like always hearing it was really good, but never having and then finally getting to watch it and just being kind of like, I love when you're like blown away and you're kind of like surprised a little bit. You're like, oh, it's even like it lived up to the hype. Sometimes movies don't live up to the hype. I know that there was a part in that movie. I knew I was really enjoying it because when I realized that there was a part in the movie that where I was like holding my breath because I was so nervous for what was about to happen. I think it's like
Happens a lot. Yes,
something's like
there's a
spinning really fast.
it's a docking
Yeah,
sequence where an
yeah.
explosion occurs and the space station is spinning out of control. And so they have to spin out of control to dock. It's very
Mm.
nerve-wracking to watch, even when you've seen it. Yeah, it's great. I wish that movies like that should just always be in the IMAX rotation, I feel like.
Yeah. If you
I
got
have
nothing to
never
show,
seen
put
it.
on Interstellar.
Oh my gosh, Garrett, you got to see it. But like, I want you to wait till it's back in IMAX again because
And
I
I think
don't.
that's why I never saw it the
Yeah,
first time,
Could
is
be
because
15,
I
20
wasn't
years.
able to get to it in the theater, and that's all I ever heard was about it, is that you got to see it on the big screen, and I could never get to it. And
Mm-hmm.
then I didn't want to watch it on TV for like the first
Mm-hmm.
time unless it was like a super 4K,
Mm-hmm.
incredible backlit kind of experience. And
yeah,
so I have tried to avoid it and then again, just wasn't able to get to it.
yeah. I
I'd
don't
really
know
like to
how
do
long
that.
it's. I don't know how long it's running. If it stays out throughout the
I'll
month,
have to
y'all should
check.
try to do it because it is worth seeing that way, especially for the first time. I mean,
And if you liked it,
Hey,
our IMAX seats suck.
our
I
IMAX
heard.
seats suck. Yeah.
Yeah, and I
So
don't think we don't have like true IMAX here in
No,
the
it's
Tulsa
not
area
like
either.
the 70 millimeter print. It's the
Yeah.
digital. But
right.
hey,
You know,
we take what we get out here in Tulsa.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
saw a post because and they might end up leaving it in through Christmas because it has performed so well. Like the Interstellar run in IMAX has done very well, and that's not the first time this year that an older movie's done really well in re-release. I saw a thing about Interstellar, which was that the movie's like 2 hours and 42 minutes, and the reason that it's 2 hours and 42 minutes is because that's the exact amount of length that's the longest an IMAX movie could be when Interstellar was made, because the
Interesting.
reels or the platforms that hold the IMAX reels, that's just as big as they were. They couldn't make they didn't have bigger reels to make. And the actual I think the cut that the first cut Nolan made was
Is
like
the
2 hours and
deepest.
50 minutes. It is also the deepest. It was like 2 hours 50 and he had to cut time from somewhere and he chose to cut time from the credits. So the credits were like he cut out a bunch of seconds and frames in the enough of them in the credits so that the credits just kind of race by in Interstellar compared to other movies.
I have a
But now
proposal here.
Yeah.
they've got 3D
Ins-
printers to extend the can so he can go 3 hours with Oppenheimer.
Instead of your streaming sites that are wasting and costing you so much money, movie studios, release less movies. They cost a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And re-release more. Make them go back to the Disney Vaultment,
Mm-hmm.
where some movies, you can buy them out and about, but they're not on every single streaming service. You can't watch them every 2 seconds if you want to. You have to wait and see. And then, it's an X anniversary of this really popular movie. Re-release it in a theater. Get people to go see it in the theater. We live in a nostalgic age. Bring people back to the theaters. You don't have to crank out new content or sequel number 47 and a half. You don't have to do that all the time. Maybe just make things a little less available sometimes and then make people excited for a re-release. I think that could solve some problems. I think it could get people to the theater from time to time, and it would open up theaters to be able to do some fun stuff. Not every single theater needs to be taken. They can do local things. If they have a local film thing like that, it creates more opportunity. It's less shit just being made.
For sure. And, I'm sure that, you'll probably have to work out some contract issues or something like that. But otherwise, it's been proven this year that with re-releases like Coraline and there was something else that re-released this year that also did very well. There's a market for it. People want to see. Whereas at the beginning of the year we were bemoaning the idea that people just didn't want to go back to the movie theaters anymore. There is some interest for seeing, people's favorite movies on the big screen again.
Yeah, I think that this year's proven that there's a lot of interest in going to the movies, but they've got to figure out the right things. Like there's nostalgic re-releases that have performed well, and there's big blockbusters that have performed exceedingly well. So like, people still want to go. It's just figuring out what works. I love it. Get back to the movies. Let's keep going. The other I watched I watched a new movie this week as well. I caught a screening of September 5th at AMC. This movie is about the Munich attack at the Olympics in the 70s. But so a lot of people will know the Spielberg movie Munich. This movie, what is different about it is centered completely around a crew of ABC sports broadcasters, because they were the ones at the Olympics. They didn't send news, they sent sports, and they were the ones with all the best shots. Hostage situation. So the whole movie is in the control room, in the studio, dealing with that kind of stuff. So it's kind of cool for me. You guys probably enjoy it from that perspective too, with the TV newsroom experience that we all share. It's kind of cool to see it from that perspective, because they had no idea what was going on, but like the eyes of the world were on their feeds, and they were also kind of experienced in news reporting. They were sports journalists, and the best access they kind of had was Peter Jennings was there on the ground, and like they just had to defer to him. So like fun stuff like that. And there's also cool things to learn about TV. Like, I didn't fact check this, but the movie certainly implies that the logo bug being on the screen at all times was normalized by this event, because they had to share satellite feeds. That was the other thing. They couldn't just broadcast whenever they wanted, wherever they wanted. It was the 70s. So they had to like share a time slot with another network. And the other networks were like, okay, well, we're not going to give you our feeds anymore unless you share the footage, share the live shot you have of this hostage situation. Would you be surprised that they didn't want to share it? But they figured out a compromise, which was the graphic designer said, you know what? I could put the logo on there and just leave it there the whole time. And that way, when we do share it, people will know it's our feed. And they said, do it. And then that implied that that's how that happened. So,
wow,
some fun TV history in there, as well as just a historical event that I personally did not know a ton about.
Yeah, very interesting.
So,
September 5th. A fun one. Yeah, you said you caught that at
it's in theaters. It's in theaters, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Very cool. David, what's the box office been?
Well, it's been
people going to it's the holiday season. I mean, people still going?
They are still going. It was a lower week this week than the previous weekend. We're in week 3, I believe, for Moana 2. We are in week 4 now, I think, for Wicked, or week 5. And so Moana 2 is still your number 1 with 26.6 million. Worldwide totals just under 340 million. Wicked brings in 22.5, bring its worldwide total to just around 360. No, sorry, not worldwide total, but U.S. total. Kraven the Hunter debuted this weekend, and it did not do well. You might say Kraven cratered. It only 11 million this weekend, which is one of the worst opens for any, superhero comic book genre movie. This is worse than Madam Web. It's worse than Morbius. Like this is a low. It's low even by Sony Spider-Man. I don't know if they made this decision based off of the Friday returns or if they'd already made this decision, but they more or less announced that they are discontinuing any Sony spin-off Spider-Man
Thank
films
God.
going forward. Which, I don't know I don't know if they were like, okay, we're getting a look at these early reviews or early, Inside was like, we're done with this. But yeah, terrible there. Gladiator 2 is at number 4 with 7.8 million in its 4th or 5th week. So that's doing well. And then the Lord of the Rings sort of anime film, The War for Rohirrim, I don't know. Say it with confidence, right? That brought in 4.6 million. Sort of struggling to stand out, but it was in fewer theaters than, any of the other movies in the top 4 there. So, hard to say. Probably going to struggle to make back its budget, I would imagine, but it's an adult-centric animated film. So it's probably not, I don't know. I don't know where the audience for that one is going to be right now. Probably do really well on Max, I'm sure. So that's it. A solid weekend. We got more competition coming up next week. Sonic 3 and Mufasa are coming out. So you're probably going to see another big surge in the box office for the final weekends of the year. And that will, then we can get a good idea of how 2024 compares to 2023 and past years at that point.
Sonic 3 and Mufasa coming out the same weekend?
They are.
Man, which one takes more? I lean towards Sonic.
Yeah, I think honestly, it might be a toss-up. Let me look.
That's a tough call. That's a tough call, but I think that's a good. Ooh, that is, yeah. Because I'll be honest, I think Sonic looks a lot more little kid friendly than Mufasa looks, but Mufasa has so much name recognition. I don't know.
It does.
Right. Sonic does too.
Here's what I think is going to happen. I think there's going to be a fight between the parents and the kids, and the parents are going to want to go see Mufasa because they like The Lion King. The kids have already seen Sonic 1 and 2, and they like Sonic 1 and 2, and they will want to go see Sonic.
And with it being the holidays, you might get some double business. You might get both doing pretty well. People going to see Sonic 3 and going to see Mufasa.
Yeah.
With time off and things like that. So I think both could do pretty well. I'm on the Quorum, which is a site I've been using for a little while now. And this is a site that does regular polling to gauge awareness for films. And normally I don't put much stock in polling, but this has been pretty reliable all year to kind of gauge how promotion is doing and how well a movie might do. Right now, Mufasa has slightly more awareness than Sonic 3. It has a 74 on a scale of 100. Sonic has a 66. This poll will also tell you how interested people are in terms of seeing it in a theater versus waiting. And right now, more people are interested, according to this, at seeing Mufasa in a theater compared to Sonic 3, but it is a close number. I think I'd give the edge to Mufasa, but I think Sonic 3 is also going to do well. I could see both of these movies doing, high numbers.
Hashtag Mufasonic.
Yes, that works.
It's gonna happen. That. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Can't be. That's certainly not nearly as dumb as Glicked. So
no,
I like it.
And I think this one could be more successful.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's gonna do it for this particular episode. We've got So Many Santas to round out the month. 8 Crazy Nights coming up later this week, and then we will finish off with It's a Wonderful Life, the greatest Christmas movie of all time. We'll decide. I don't know.
Maybe.
So be sure you subscribe to the show to get those when they come out. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel, So Many Sequels, and in your favorite podcasting app. You can go to somanysequels.com and get those links, as well as links to our social media. We are on Instagram at So Many Sequels Pod and on the Threads and TikTok. So if you want to get even more involved, you can join our Patreon. So Many Sequels. Just search that there and you'll get access to our Discord. And that'll do it. Let us know what Christmas movies you're watching this month. We will see you all next time. Bye.